we need to talk about San Diego Comic-Con in Malaga. So for those of you who don't know, San Diego Comic-Con held its first Comic-Con event outside of America. Well, I need to check that actually, but for sure it was the first time in Europe, and they had an event in Malaga. They announced it a few months ago. Everyone went crazy. Everyone was like, oh my god, we need to get tickets. So the event was sold out very quickly, 4 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and it sold out completely before they announced any sort of agenda, any sort of schedule, anything, any big names. Everyone was like, there's gonna be so many famous people at this. So it was sold out. Then they made some announcements, nothing major. To date, they have announced only Arnold Swarzenegger is going to be there on the Sunday, which is tomorrow. So the event is on this weekend. I went on the Friday and it was a total bleep show. Like, everyone is so angry. Like, they've turned off comments. San Diego Comic-Con on Instagram has turned off comments on their most recent stuff. They've also started posting a lot less because they've been getting such a huge backlash against them and their organization, or lack of organizational skills. Though I would, perhaps this is defamation, but I would suggest that it's not lack of organization, it's just money grabbing. So what happened in my experience was that there was no big names announced for the day that I wanted to go, or that the day that I had tickets for. Again, remember, you're buying these tickets before you even have any knowledge of who's on or what. So the schedule was really crap, and I was like, okay, maybe someone will be announced closer to the time. Nope, not at all. The most famous person there was Brian Austin Green, who was in Beverly Hills 90210 eons ago, and I only know his name actually because I think he was married to Megan Fox. So, and to be honest, it was a good talk, he was interesting, but he was the biggest name. Like, for Comic-Con, that's just disgraceful. Like, compared to the previous day, okay, they had some cool people. They had Natalie Dyer from Stranger Things, Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad, Gwendoline Christy, Game of Thrones, and they also had Luke Evans, like quite a, again, they're not huge names, but they're interesting people. So they had all of those on the Thursday, and pretty much nobody on the Friday. So that was a huge disappointment. But then when we actually got there, massive queues. Like, we're talking, I don't know, 30-40 minutes to even get into the place. Then everything is a queue. Like, literally everything is a queue. So even getting water was like 20 minutes. So they don't let you bring in food and drink in the first place. Okay, fine, that's pretty common. But the queue for the water fountain, 20 minutes minimum. When it started to get really busy, that was even longer. There was a queue for absolutely everything. At one point, we all got locked out of the main concourse because they said there was too many people in there. So the fact that we paid tickets that cost €55 to see no famous people, and then weren't even allowed in. Okay, 30 minutes later they opened the doors, but they didn't even start like letting people in one by one. They opened the doors wide, just basically inciting stampede conditions. And of course it was just a free-for-all, and everyone just, you know, slammed their way in, and I don't know if anybody got hurt, but they well could have. And I saw absolutely nothing, like no panels, apart from I did see Brian Austin Green signing some autographs, and the start of his talk, which was in the blazing sunshine in Malaga in the middle of the day. Also not great organizational skills there. And yeah, so I paid €55 to see absolutely nothing. The only piece of entertainment was seeing other people dressed up, like cosplaying. I also dressed up, which was kind of fun. I was Misa Manny from Death Note. Took some fun photos, and that was it. And that was €55. Oh, not to mention I had to queue for about 30-40 minutes to get food for the driest vegan burger I've ever... I'm not vegan, but like I got the vegan burger because I have a lactose problem. But the most disgusting vegan burger I've ever had in my life. My friend had the pizza and he said it was okay, but like it was €17 for the vegan burger, and it was just a disgrace, to be honest. So yeah, they could have made things so much better. They could have made the prices a lot cheaper if they wanted to sell so many tickets, and then you know, had additional tickets for maybe like the main events or something. So maybe you could like experience going in and you know, the atmosphere without having to pay a lot of money and then pay more money for the events. Or, well, there's a number of ways. You could also just have higher price tickets and fewer people. So like the whole thing is just basically money grabbing, and it sucks. And my experience was definitely not the only experience, because a lot of people are really annoyed about this online. So yeah, that was pretty much it. Let me know if you have any experiences from Comic-Con, good or bad. But mine was bad, and I definitely won't be recommending Comic-Con to anybody, and I definitely won't be going to one myself ever again. I should also mention, because I don't think I was super clear about it before, the whole Comic-Con thing is you pay €55 and then you go in and you view certain panels where actors or artists or whoever are like talking about their work and stuff, and some are like maybe conferences and some are workshops and stuff. So when you paid €55 for a ticket, you kind of thought, okay, I'm getting to go to Comic-Con and see events and talks and workshops. And that's not the case, because there's a capacity for each individual event, which is far shorter than the actual number of tickets that they sold. So basically it forced everybody to pick maybe 2 things that they wanted to see during the day and then queue for hours just to get into those 2 things. So for example, the longest queue I saw was people, and a long ass queue, not like 3 or 4 diehard fans queuing, but like a long ass queue of people had formed 3 hours before one event, the composer for Final Fantasy VII. And that was when I left, because I was losing the will to live, and I was just like, this is crazy, people are already queuing for this, there's no way I'll get in. So I spent the entire day like going to things maybe 30-40 minutes in advance, thinking that would be enough to get me in the doors after I queued for 30-40 minutes, but no, I would queue for 30-40 minutes, the line would move a little bit, and then they would say we're full. So that was why I didn't get into anywhere. It wasn't a lack of queuing, but just they oversold. There's so many tickets that they sold, so many people there, and didn't deliver basically. So it is a bit of a scam actually. Sue me for that if you want Comic-Con, but you're scamming people.